Auntie Brenda, do you remember when you first voted? How old were you?
I probably would have been about 24.
How did you feel about voting at the time?
Yeah, no, I loved the voting because it sort of made us sort of just important too, you know, as Labor always seemed to look after the Aboriginal people more than the Liberals, I felt.
How important is it that Aboriginal women can vote?
Very important, yes, I think they need to vote the same as the men. Any improvement with the racism? No, I guess they had mixed feelings. They all have sort of different attitudes, you know, different way of dealing with it. All sort of felt as though we shouldn't need to vote. They didn't do much really, no. They didn't do anything for our community, no. They were just sort of there for their own benefits, sort of thing. You know, looking after themselves. I got my voting rights because my husband's grandfather was a British citizen.
Oh, heaps better, improved in heaps, in every way, as Auntie Brenda said, medicals and everything financially. It's all improved and everything's completely different. Living arrangements, everything is different.
Well, the time that they got the vote, I was only a young woman. I was working then at the hospital in Narrandera, and I remember my grandmother saying she didn't want to vote, and then my mother said she didn't want to vote, and all my aunties, they all stuck together. But then again, when Mr Cooper came up to our hill and started to talk, him and Ozzie Ingram, about the political things that were going on then, everybody decided they'd go and have a vote.
Tell me about your family, in particular your grandmother.
My grandmother was a stolen child, but she did learn to read and write and do all those sort of things. But Mum was a very poor writer and reader. Yeah, it was a very difficult time because children have been taken away from our community, and it was very hard. We used to spend nearly all day in the bush sometimes because of the government people coming down to our area. The thing was, I was married then, had some kids, and I still didn't think that I was good enough to vote. My vote wouldn't count, I thought, being of Aboriginal descent. And we didn't have to if we didn't want to. My ex-husband told me, oh no, you can't vote. And then I thought, yes I can, I'm going to. So shut up. And so I did. Oh well, I was talking to some people from my area, my elders, and they were saying, yes, go and vote. It'll make a big difference to our country. And I listened to them, and I heard what my mother was saying at that time. Mum was starting to vote too. And because Dad had come back from the war, and, you know, we didn't want any of that to go on again, so we had our vote and our say. I felt like I had a voice, and I haven't stopped shouting, yelling yet since. Very important. They must have their say. Because Aboriginal women are going to be one of the leaders of this country one day. At last we were counted as people. They used to get there walking, horse and cart, old T-model Fords, anything that'll carry them, they'd go. I think a lot of them didn't recognise the Aboriginal people as people, and they didn't want their voices to be heard. I think that's why. Their voices can be heard now. They can be counted as people, not as before, when they said they were nothing.
How important is it for young Aboriginal women to be politically active?
Very important. Because of our children, they're growing up now, they've got to get in there and they've got to have their say. I'd advise them to get a good education first, go into the schools and to the councils, everywhere government, and let them be heard. So Aboriginal women have got to take control now.